Hi everybody, welcome to Crandall Reviews. Taking a look today at Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2, the script that just came out. Now, if you've watched Armchair Directors at all, you'll know I freaking love Harry Potter. I'm not ashamed to say it. I absolutely freak out for it. So when I heard that J.K. Rowling had basically okayed Jack Thorne to write this new 8th Harry Potter story that would be a play, I was pretty pumped. Now, this is not quite fan fiction because J.K. wrote the outline for the story and collaborated on it. But it's not entirely like the official 8th Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling did not write it. It's not a novel. Now, when you read it, it's fun and quick to read, but hopefully you already have a good base and knowledge of Harry Potter, because unlike a book, this does not give you a lot of description about the characters or the actual action that is happening. Very minimal. Mostly the story is told through dialogue. Now, unlike a movie that would be basically the same, Steve Kloves adapted a bunch of those J.K. Rowling books for the screen, and then they made the movies that were fantastic. What sets this apart from the movies, of course, is that when action and stuff happens in this play, a lot of it is minimal compared to a movie where you can do a lot more because we can see a lot more and we can be in multiple locations. And you can show us a lot more in a movie. So in this book, a lot of the action or some of the dialogue is characters explaining stuff much more than they have in past Harry Potter incarnations. And that's fine just because of the medium. So taking that into consideration, I would say this is a worthwhile addition to the series and definitely worth reading. However, keep in mind that there are parts of this that for me didn't work and really pissed me off. So I'm going to go into a little bit of spoiler territory. So before I get to the spoilers, I will just say, if you like Harry Potter, I think you have to read this anyway, just to see the next step, how Harry handles adulthood. I really like the addition of the new characters. Draco's son Scorpius is fantastic. Harry's son Albus is a dickhead. But I'm going to now get into the plot stuff. So if you haven't read this and you don't want to know plot secrets, switch it off. When they told us that this was coming out, I was super pumped. And I went to the midnight release, got home at 1:30, had the book, read till 3 o'clock, and then went to bed and then woke up the next day and finished it off. I was plowing through it at first, and then they mentioned time turners. And the minute somebody brought up a time turner, I thought, oh, shit. This is going to be an inconsequential Back to the Future Part 2 kind of shit, where somebody's going to use a time turner, go back in time, fuck some shit up, and then we're going to have to course correct for the next remainder of the book or the play. And that's fine, but that is not what I would have wanted from a continuation of the Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling got rid of time turners early in the series because she knew they were a dumb device that was really going to bite everyone in the ass, because it's just an endless loop of paradoxes and butterfly effects that's monotonous. So when that's sort of the main through line of The Cursed Child, I was a little bit disappointed. I did like that we get to revisit some of our favorite characters and catch up with them. And even though it's just dialogue, a lot of them still felt right to me. Hermione feels like Hermione. Ron's dialogue is definitely Ron through and through. Draco has really matured now that he is an adult and has loved and lost, and he's gone through pain. And I appreciated that he wasn't still the sniveling bastard, and he wasn't just Lucius Malfoy reincarnated when he was older. He was not the same man as his father, and that was great. I think that Harry and Ginny, I'm divided on. There are moments where Harry feels like Harry, and I really appreciated that. But his relationship with Albus, even though they do get some nice emotional moments out of it, the fact that Harry Potter sucks as a dad really pisses me off. Now, I know people can be heroic and do these sweeping adventures and not be good parents, and that's fine. But to do that to Harry Potter just doesn't feel right to me. Albus Severus Potter is, for the most part, a whiny dick in this play. The fact that Scorpius Malfoy was much more of a relatable character, a much more tender character. We got a lot more emotion out of that character than I ever would have thought we would from a Malfoy, which was a nice 180. It's a nice twist. But every time Albus did anything in this, I'm just like face palming, like, how? Why? This kid is an idiot. So that bugged me. That being said, with time turners in play, we can now revisit characters who are no longer with us. And yeah, I got a little bit emotional and maybe a little bit dust in the air when we get that great Snape scene and Snape comes back and he finds out that Harry named his kid after him. Those are some nice moments, and I like that. And when the world is turned upside down, the Biff's casino moments were kind of funny. The fact that Ron married Padma Patil, and then where Umbridge is the be-all, end-all head of things, and Voldemort's risen to power and all this stuff. That was nice to see. It was cool. But again, I just think if this is the last big Harry Potter adventure we're going to get, I wish we had gotten something a little bit more substantial. So this definitely feels like an add-on or like a bonus feature to the Harry Potter books, not the essential 8th adventure of Harry Potter. Also, they do telegraph a lot of stuff. As soon as Delphi is introduced, you know she's going to be a bad guy. It's not a surprise when she reveals that she is related to Voldemort. And you're like, yeah, that's Voldemort's daughter. Okay. I knew she was going to be bad, and she seemed like she had evil through her. How is this a surprise to anyone? So moments like that really are unsubtle. And I think, again, just goes back to this being a play. A lot of stuff in theater is over the top. You're playing to the cheap seats at the back. So we can't be as subtle as we are in a book or in a movie. And that's just the main curse of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, is that, yes, it's entertaining. I tore through it. I read it right away, and I had fun with it. I'm going to probably revisit it to see if I can get into it more and overlook those out-of-character moments that I just don't like. But for the most part, they nail the characters, and it is fun, and there is a satisfying ending, and a lot of cool stuff happens. It's just that when you lower the stakes so much by making it time travel, we know that if anything serious goes wrong, they're just going to go back again and fix it. I never really worried that anybody was going to die in this, because with that plot device, they can't die. Anybody who dies, they can come back, unless your name is Cedric Diggory. Then, unfortunately, you have to stay dead. So, that's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. If you haven't read it and you like Harry Potter, like I said, even though I sound negative, read it. It is worth the read. There's just some stuff I wish was different. But to have another Harry Potter story after 9 years, it was satisfying in all the right ways for that, just to revisit these characters and be with them again. So hit the comments. Let me know if you read it, if you loved it, if you hated it. Like the video, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Expecto Patronum!